It's obvious that things have changed a lot over the last year. Our lives have been interrupted, whether it be our families, businesses, routines, schools, or even our churches. As we all come to grips with the impact and reality of our current situation, we first want to say that our hearts go out to the families and small businesses that have been impacted by COVID-19. Small businesses have arguably been hit the hardest throughout this time. Whether it be government mandate, a personal decision, or medically necessary, a lot of our businesses were forced to remote operate. At SBS Accounting and Advisors, we have been managing a remote workforce for more than 5 years, as well as working in person with our team and others, and wanted to share some of the insights we've learned over that time. It's critical to get your strategy right the first time. Doing well can have great benefits and long-term business growth, while a poor job can lead to a lack of productivity and employees becoming islands. Join me today as we discuss 4 practical tips for managing a post-COVID workforce. Hey there, I'm David Schoenfeld with SBS Accounting and Advisors. As you exit this COVID pandemic, it's possible that you could still be working with a fully remote workforce, or you could be fully back in person, or even some hybrid form of the two. Either way, here are 4 practical tips to managing a post-COVID workforce, and, of course, SBS is here every step of the way to answer any questions or discuss solutions for your business. Tip number 1, set a schedule. Some may disagree with me, but if there is not some expectation set for when your staff should work, things can go south. This doesn't mean that you can't make exceptions or put together custom schedules for those that have special needs, such as children being in the home. But the key is that there should be a clear expectation as to when your staff should be working. This will encourage a clean break between work and personal life, which will foster work-life harmony and keep staff from getting burned out. As we incorporate the possibility of remote and in-person hybrid workforce, scheduling gets even more important. Your in-person workforce will need to be able to communicate with your remote workforce efficiently and effectively. Setting and maintaining a schedule is the key. Tip number 2, meet regularly. I cannot emphasize this enough. In order to keep a strong and connected culture, you must have regular team meetings. This is easy when meeting in person, as you can physically interact with those in the room. But we cannot forget our remote workers. Thankfully, there are some wonderful tools out there for virtual meetings, such as GoToMeeting and Zoom. Make it a requirement to turn the cameras on, interact, make meetings fun and informative. Tip number 3, over-communicate. Your in-person workforce has the advantage of instant communication, but when it comes to communicating with a remote workforce, miscommunication can cause delays for which your entire workforce will pay the consequences. Because the primary ways of communicating with a remote workforce is through writing, it's vital that you over-communicate when sending texts, emails, or other forms of written communication. Read and reread your messages before you send them to ensure that they contain all the pertinent details. Teach your team to do the same. Also, clearly document your policies and procedures so that there's no doubt what guidelines your staff needs to follow. Tip number 4, trust but verify. It is possible that over time you may develop a stronger trust with your in-person workforce than with your remote workforce. I cannot stress enough the need to avoid this at all costs. There's an old myth that says, if I can't see my staff, I can't manage them. And this is simply not true. People want to be trusted. One of the most freeing things you could potentially do for your staff is letting them know that you are proud of them, that you trust that even though you cannot see them, they will act in the best interest of the company. Be sure to also communicate that this goes both ways. You also expect for them to trust that you have their best interests in mind. This being said, blind faith is never wise. Periodically pull time reports and regularly check in on the status of your projects as a way of holding your staff accountable to your trust agreement. If there seems to be a violation, investigate to see if there were factors outside of the employee's control that made it seem as if they were not operating with your company's best interests in mind. If there was a violation of trust, remind the employee of your agreement with them. If the employee continues to break that trust, you have to let them go. We have certainly had to endure some difficult times, and it seems that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. But as business owners, we know that we have to constantly adapt in order to grow. Hopefully, as we transition from one normal to the next, you'll be in a position to capitalize off your remote workforce strategies. If you have any questions or are ready to tackle managing remote staff, then we here at SBS Accounting and Advisors would love to speak with you and discuss how we can help you manage this change. If this interests you in any way, please reach out to us by phone or by email. Thank you for watching, and please be sure to check out our YouTube channel and website for other helpful resources for you and your organization.